in our society because of our belief in the Almighty Allah, in whose infinite mercy and power we put all our hopes in. Before we begin this ceremony, this solemn ceremony, this historic ceremony, before we begin, I would urge you to please allow us to pray so that Allah the Almighty will bless this gathering this morning. And without further ado, I would like to call on the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry for Local Government and Lands, Alhaji Seku Sanyang, who this morning is actually wearing the hat of Imam. Imam Sanyang. Governors of the Upper River Region, Central River Region, West Coast Region, senior government officials, members of the National Organizing Committee, members of the Local Organizing Committee, young people, men and women of Albreda and Jufure, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols respectfully observed. And therefore, I would, at this point, like to call upon the governor of the North Bank region, who actually is our host on this fort, to make his welcome remarks. Governor Edward II.
President of the Republic of the Gambia, ably representing the President of the Republic, Safe Professor Dr. Yaya AJJ Jammeh, the Honorable Minister of Tourism and other ministers present here today, regional governors, Deputy Governor North Bank, the Chairman of the Organizing Committee, the Chairman Caravan Area Council, District Chiefs, Security Personnel, Alcalo and Imams, Council of Elders, African brothers and sisters from the diaspora, Yai Compins, Green Boys and Girls, various cultural groups, Ambassador, High Excellency, the Ambassador of Nigeria, and all other protocols respectfully observed. I have the singular honor to welcome Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, and her entourage to the North Bank region, with our brothers from the brothers and sisters from the diaspora. From the bottom of my heart, I kindly urge every one of you to feel at home, for indeed you are at home. Today marks yet another milestone in the annals of the history of Albreda and Jufure, and Gambia at large. The renaming of James Island to Kunta Kinteh Island is indeed very timely and could not have come at a better time than now. For everyone would agree with me here that this initiative is magnificent and laudable for the simple fact that the island is more synonymous to Kunta Kinteh than any other name you can think of. It will avail our brothers and sisters in the diaspora the opportunity to continue to trace their origin and roots in the...
And also give a thank you to HE President Yaya Jammeh and all of his great work. Your Excellency, Vice President, and all of the other fine ministers, and Mbake June for making this all happen. Well, I'm a painter and a sculptor, and not much of a speaker, as eloquent as my brother here. So I just decided to just tell you a story about how all of this came about. I've been painting now for about a good 25 years, starting in New York City in America. And recently, I would say the last 4 years, I started a series of paintings. It was called the Cotton Series, a place of reference. And it referred directly to the atrocity and Holocaust that actually, this very spot, happened in this very spot. That only the trees could tell you the real stories. You know, with my 97-year-old grandmother in Virginia, sharing her stories, and of course the great work that Alex Haley did, the late Alex Haley, we're all familiar with Roots. That enough to make me highly inspired and incredibly disciplined to paint more than about 100 paintings referring to the Cotton Series of the enslaved Africans that you know, were enslaved in America, worked in the tobacco, as we all know, the cotton fields. And I created this this collection of paintings, and how nature has it, and how the universe works when we're all gifted with, when we put our heart and soul into something. Sometimes the universe gives a helping hand and help us along the way. Which, to make this story short, brought this beautiful man into the fray. And having President Yahya Jammeh familiar with my works, I was invited to the Gambia for the first time. Now, did I come here the second time? Okay, so the first time was the 45th independence, which was, I can't really describe it, really. Words can't describe it, but I was really floored. That's not doing it either. I was blown away. It was an incredible experience. Now, the second time, I was brought to this island here. It was for HE's, President Yahya Jammeh's 45th birthday. And part of that trip, I was brought to this island. And I went down in the little dungeon where they held the strongest Africans there. And I might add that a butterfly followed me on the boat all the way from Joof to here, just right by my side, that I found very symbolic and very, because I played with caterpillars when I was a boy. And so that was like the whole thing that was about to occur that I had no idea that was going to happen when I arrived on this island. When I went down in the one dungeon, tears started coming down. And I'm a 220-pound guy. I don't cry very easily, but I was deeply, deeply touched. Yeah. And the thing that brought the tear, because I thought that these beautiful African strong men, how could that happen? And if it wasn't for guns and evil ideas, it wouldn't. And that caused me to sort of like break down. But when I came out of there, I was reborn, as that butterfly showed me that I was going to morph into a very voiceful person. I would never be able to stand here and even speak to you before, but I have a message. And that message is, it was depicted in my paintings, but now I found the strength to say that this is no longer James Island. This is from this day on Kunta Kinteh Island. Woo! I said that, And I took that message to His Excellency, Your Excellency, His Excellency, Yahya Jammeh. And now I see all of this happening, which is so beautiful. Everyone coming together, doing their part, and the idea was probably, it was in the air for sure. But for me to come out of there and voice that, and to be standing here now with the beginnings of this sculpture that I created in New York City and brought on the airplane, unfinished, to be on this island is nothing but a blessing from Allah. And I would want to see this erected so that the world will know that through all of the atrocities that has happened in our history, we are still brothers and sisters, and we love each other, and we must free each other's mind and embrace our true beauty from our hair down to our bodies, our minds and hearts. And God bless you all, and God bless this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I've lost my voice.
Luciana.
I used to be dancing.
Luciana.
Your Excellency, the Vice President and Minister for Women's Affairs, the Honorable Ministers here present, my colleagues, Service Chiefs here present. We also have some permanent secretaries here present, members of the National Assembly, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Nigeria in the Gambia, our dynamic host, Governor North Bank Region. You know, I thought I was fast in big things and I want things done like yesterday, but he's worse than me. Every time he keeps calling me, gentle reminder, 10 times, Governor. Of course, our other governors here present today. Our dynamic Lord Mayor of KMC and APRC mobilizer and my dance partner. The chiefs of Upper and Lower Nyomi and other Sefolul here present. The Alcalo of Albreda and Jufre and other Alcalos here present. Now, of course, our artist guest, Chaz guest. What Chaz guest did not tell us is the fact that this particular, what do you call it? Sculpture. Once it is ready, the real one will be 30 feet.
Wow.
30 feet high to be placed here in this particular island. The National Organizing Committee, our esteemed brothers and sisters from the diaspora, all invited guests, all other protocols duly respected, all other protocols observed. Sorry guys, I'm tired. I feel deeply honored and privileged to welcome you all to this ancient village of Jufure, the birthplace of Kunta Kinteh, the great Gambian youth who was captured and sold in slavery 4 centuries ago, whose tenacity and courage has been memorialized in famous book Roots and the television miniseries that subsequently followed that publication. The occasion today is indeed historic and significant for 2 reasons. Firstly, we are here on a spiritual and cultural pilgrimage to pay homage to Kunta Kinteh and his descendants. Secondly, we are today on the threshold of reaching yet another milestone in Gambian history, that is the renaming of James Island. James Island epitomized the darkest days of the transatlantic slave trade. It was the last port of call on African soil for millions of Africans rudely abducted by the ruthless and wicked slavers and taken across the Atlantic as slaves to the New World plantations. Many Africans have perished on this island. Indeed, as alluded to by my Deputy Permanent Secretary before, if this island was able to speak about the atrocities committed against Africans from the time of its inception in 1456 to the mid-19th century, the tale will be too horrendous to listen to. However, we still know a lot about the island's role in the evil trade, and over the years, a lot has been done to document, preserve, and disseminate it to the public. This culminated in the island's inscription into the prestigious UNESCO World Heritage List in 2003 because of its outstanding universal value to humankind. By renaming James Island, we wish to keep alive the memory of Kunta Kinteh and all the millions of African slaves who have passed through it on their way to the Americas as slaves. This is why we must continue to memorialize its atrocities for future generations so that it cannot be repeated. It is our belief that the renaming of the island shall add more impetus to the desire to conserve it while fostering a sense of community ownership. In this regard, I wish to commend the National Center for Arts and Culture for their hard work and dedication, which has greatly improved the island and its associated sites. To the people of Joof, I salute your support for the festival since its inception in 1996 by the government of His Excellency, Sheikh Professor Dr. Alhaji Yahya AJJ Jammeh. I hope that this renaming after one of your sons will further cement your support to the festival. And of course, what is more important is your desire to protect and preserve the island. And I repeat, because this is very important, I hope that this renaming after one of your sons will further cement your support to the festival and desire to protect and preserve the island, because it is yours. For His Excellency the President of the Republic, I wish to salute his strong and unsparing support towards the festival, which is a clear indication of the top priority he and his government place on culture and heritage issues. The presence of Her Excellency, the Vice President, and other cabinet ministers here this morning in Joof is yet another clear manifestation of that support. At this juncture, permit me, Your Excellency, to thank the Governor of the North Bank region, the Chiefs of Lower and Upper Nyomi, the Alcalos of Albreda and Joof, the Village Development Committee, the Joof Albreda Youth Society, without it. So please try and grab a couple also to take home as a gift. Thank you very much.
First of all, I bring you greetings from His Excellency the President, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh, to the residents of North Bank region, as well as to our brothers and sisters from the diaspora. He would have loved to be here, but just like you heard from previous speakers, due to his busy schedule, he couldn't be here with us today. But however, he wishes well. His speech reads as follows. Honorable ministers here present, of course starting with the minister responsible for this occasion, the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture, Honorable Fatumas Joof. She has a very contradictory surname, Joof and Njie, Joof Njie at the same time. I want to recognize her here. I want to also recognize, of course, other colleagues here present. Honorable members of the National Assembly, we are told that they're here with us. I want to recognize their presence. Of course, service chiefs, the governor, our host of the North Bank region, and his deputy, and other governors here present, the mayor of KMC, who is a member of the organizing committee, of course, and our national mobilizer of the APRC. I want to recognize the Nigerian ambassador to the Gambia, and of course her entourage. There are other Nigerians also who have come with her to accompany her to this historic place. I want to recognize their presence. I also want to recognize venerable religious leaders. I know there's a reverend here with us, right? And I want to recognize his presence and the elevated imam that we have in our midst, Kabunka. And of course, there are Sefolu here with us. I want to recognize their presence, especially of Lower Nyomi and Upper Nyomi, among others. Cultural village, of course, should have been Joof, but put together with James Island today, which we are renaming, of course, Kunta Kinteh Island, on the auspicious occasion of the 10th edition of the International Roots Festival. Joof, as we all know, is the birthplace of Kunta Kinteh, one of the many Gambians captured and sold into slavery some 400 years ago to what was then called the New World. You all remember the triangular slave trade, of course, and the Middle Passage Memorial. It's ironic, therefore, but also remarkably significant that today, on this very soil, where Kunta Kinteh and many other young Gambian men and women, as well as other Africans like him, were hunted, captured, and of course forced into slavery against their will, we are welcoming the descendants of those captives who have returned home, not as slaves, of course, but as free men and women amongst their own kith and kin. Thus the wheel has turned full circle as we welcome home our brothers and sisters from the diaspora. In history, of course, because we are gathered here in Joof as well as in James Island, now of course called Kunta Kinteh Island, not only to reflect upon the past and to celebrate our resilience, determination as well as achievements as African people, but also to pay homage to the millions of our African ancestors who were forcibly removed from their ancestral homes, that is the African homeland, and sold as slaves. In the same vein, our today's gathering is indeed very unique. Unique also as we are going to rename this famous island from where Kunta Kinteh, and indeed millions of his likes, that is of Gambians and other Africans, departed into the dark dungeons of the slave ships to begin the hard and degrading life of slavery in the New World. The island until now known as James Island, as I said earlier on, will henceforth be called Kunta Kinteh Island, to keep alive, of course, the memory of this great symbol. This great symbol of resistance, bravery, and the resilient spirit of the African person. But before we go into the details of today's event, please allow me once again to take this opportunity at this moment to refresh our memories about the Roots Festival. In the same vein, I would also hereby officially declare that James Island, as from today, Sunday, the 6th of February 2011, is renamed Kunta Kinteh Island. Therefore, long live the Gambia, long live Africa, long live African unity. I thank you all for your kind attention, and may the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. Thank
Excuse me. Cameraman. Tom. Steven. Go down. Go down. Go down.
Bro.
Bulo.
Watch your back. Just for him, not me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
God, I have my hand over everything.
Boy, jël ma man Alex. I should not tell you that. Yeah.